Luckily, there's a nice wide shoulder here, but I can feel the camper shaking every time someone goes by. So we still have about a little over an hour wait. My day started out great. I stayed at a Harvest Host the night before where I was able to relax. I also found a really nice place to walk the dogs. I was refreshed, relaxed, in a great mood, and ready to hit the road. However, after just 15 minutes, things took a turn for the worst. I started to hear this terrible thumping noise coming from the back passenger side of my RV, only to find that the tire, while it hadn't actually popped, the tread was coming off of the tire. The tires were new, in good shape. I just had them checked 2 days earlier, and it looked like a retread on a semi. So I'm sitting on the side of the road on Route 2 in Wisconsin on my way to Minnesota. It's going to be shaky because my hands are shaking. So I left about 15 minutes ago. I checked all my tires. Everything was fine. Pressure was good. And 15 minutes on the road, I started to hear this terrible flapping noise coming from the passenger side of my truck. Now, I just checked my tires. I checked the tire pressure. I checked everything. Everything was fine 15 minutes ago. I do think I heard a noise probably for the past 2 travel days, but I've had someone check my tires, a professional. I have checked my tires. I checked them again today and everything registered fine. So sometimes with an RV, you don't know what's going to break until it breaks. So I'm sitting on the side of the road waiting for someone to bring me, not only to come change my tire, but to bring me out a new one. They had the right size tire. So I'm going to grab it. I don't even know what the cost is going to be. It is what it is. But they're going to bring the tire out to me. I have a spare. I have a full spare with air, but now I won't have a spare because this tire looks, I can't tell for sure, but it looks like the tread came off. And it's a good tire. It is within the lifetime of a tire. It only probably has about 25 to 30,000 miles on it. I don't know. So I do think that I did get a warning on the past couple of travel days. I wasn't sure if it was the road, but I heard a little bit, something was a little off. Couldn't put my finger on it. Like I said, I had the tires checked professionally since then. All of them, they said they're fine. So until something goes wrong, everything is fine. So now I'm waiting 2 hours for them to come and bring me the tire on the Friday before Labor Day. I don't like being on the side of the road. I do have all my flashers on. I will have lunch while I'm here, but it's just not, I'm fine. It's just not a fun feeling being on the side of a road. Luckily, I do travel between 10 and 2 is my goal. So it's about noon. I left a little later today because my internet was just so good that I wanted to take advantage of it and get some of the footage on my phone off to my hard drive because I don't have a lot of room left on my phone. It keeps on telling me I need to get more space. So I've been trying to clear that off. And I had the best internet I've ever had in my entire life, and I wanted to take advantage of it. Yeah, so I left around 11, and by 11:15, I'm sitting on the side of the road, which is good because I still have 2 hours of travel in front of me. With the 2 hours that it takes for them to get here, I should still get where I'm going by about 4 o'clock, and that's fine. So this is why I travel between 10 and 2, because you never know what's going to happen. And like I said, your RV is just fine. Everything is fine until it's not. Could be so much worse. There could be no shoulder. It could be rainy. I've been turning my car on every half hour, even though I'm pretty sure the solar is charging the house battery, just because I have the flashers on and I don't want to take a chance. I'm actually even on a level spot. Imagine that. So I have the AC on in the rig to keep the dogs and me cool. So it could be so much worse. Trying to find roadside assistance in northwest Wisconsin, which is remote, was challenging. It seems like there's only one company that even does roadside assistance up there. I had tried to call my roadside assistance company, and I realized that I was better off trying to find roadside assistance on my own. I still had to wait 2 hours for roadside assistance to come, but because I had been able to talk with them directly, I knew that they were bringing out a new tire for me as well. Otherwise, I would have been traveling up into Minnesota without a spare. The diagnosis is that one of the braided tire extensions that allows me to check the air pressure and put air into my dualies easily had failed yet again. These extensions were only 6 months old. Some people really like extensions for dualies. I am on the side now of I'm not doing it anymore. This time, when the extension failed, it destroyed a perfectly good tire. At least the tire didn't blow. That could have caused even more damage, but the flapping portion of the tire did cause some damage to my RV step. At least I had Katie the cat to keep an eye on things while we waited. Once I got back on the road and all my tires were filled up to the correct pressure again, it didn't get any better. As I left Wisconsin and entered Minnesota, the roads got rougher and rougher, and the winds picked up. In over 12,000 miles of driving my RV all over the East Coast, I had not experienced conditions like this before, with the wind pushing me around and the bumpy road just never seeming to end, including a detour that pushed me off the highway onto a rutted dirt road. Everything in my house was shaking and rattling. Even the dogs were nervous. I knew I was going to be traveling into more remote areas, but I did not expect this. It was a day that really tested my limits with RV life, and I'm glad I don't have many days like this. As I look back on one of the worst travel days I've ever had, I'm reminded of the lessons that I learned that day. That it's okay to be scared, to be uncertain, and to be alone. That no matter how much you try, things will still go wrong. And that sometimes the greatest rewards come from pushing past those most difficult days. Hey, I'm Nancy, and I make videos about my 55-plus solo RV life as I travel the U.S. in my Lazy Days Class C RV with 2 dogs and a cat. Thanks for joining me on this crazy ride, guys. If you've got your own travel stories or adventures, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more RV lifestyle tips and tricks.